Today, the topic is you're going to pay. Nobody gets anything for free. There are three ways that I always talk about you're going to pay. Either you're going to pay with Federal Reserve notes, these little dollar bills they're handing you, or you're going to pay with blood, sweat, and tears where you have to put your energy into something, or you're going to pay attention. Halo, yeah, yours truly, Diva-Marie, rocking with you, representing for the UNARepublic and UNARepublic. Halo, yes, UNA, yeah, welcome, and welcome to this Friday edition. Some of y'all got dates tonight. I got a date tonight. I'm going to get me some food. That's what I'm going to do because I am coming off of a fast. This will be my breakfast, and I wanted to make sure I get this session in today because I need to make sure I do not neglect you lovely people out there who really want to know about law, who really want to know about this spiritual side and how these things are working. So I'm yours truly, Diva-Marie, representing with UNARepublic and UNARepublic. We are in the house. To my YouTube people, hello. Let me log in here. Today, the topic is you're going to pay. You're going to pay. You are going to pay. All right? So I want to get into that today. Before I go into it, I want to make sure you all are aware because some of you all have been wanting to become a member of the UNA University. Some of you all, especially by TikTok, people have been asking about the get out of jail free card. The get out of jail free card. The trust package, which comes with your membership with UNA. If you're interested in this, all right, this is a trust. These are your trust documents. What does this include? Your declaration, security agreement, UCC, all in here. Comes with the membership package. Also with the membership package is a membership badge, which shows that you are a member of UNA. Very powerful document. Right here, all of these documents are powerful. Your allodial ID, which deals with your spiritual name. There is a QR code whereby your documents that are put on record with the county are also put on record with UNA. All right, so that anytime you need to access those documents that are certified, you can get them right here by clicking on that QR code and always access them. Also with the membership package, you have your education. It's an 8-session course where you're going to learn how to do anything that deals with your what we call sovereignty. All right. So anything you've heard about sovereignty, whether it be your birth certificate, your SF-181, you're going to be dealing with your passport document. Anything with respect to getting your EIN numbers, we're dealing with all of that in that session. So not only are you going to get that great information on how to use these powerful tools and what to do, you're also going to get these tools, learn how to use them, and we're going to put them on record for you. Timothy, welcome. Hello. Who else? Felipe is in the house. Who else? Malcolm's in the house. Twisted, Carmela, Just, Angie, Lovely, Allie, welcome. Butch, D, welcome. I got a couple of questions. How do I get that? All right, you can find the link in the bio, or you can go to UNAuniversity.com, and get the information. Find the link in the bio. This is well worth it. Anybody who's gotten any kind of just regular old trust, they start at $2,500. All right. If you want to become a member, you get all of these very, very powerful tools along with that education. Find the link in the bio. Go to UNAUniversity.com. Yours truly, Divya Reed. Welcome. All right, what are we going over today? You gonna pay. You gonna pay. All right, what am I talking about? Now, what I need to make sure we're understanding and recognizing is, I put out a lot of information. We do here at UNA. We put out a lot of information on UNARepublic, whether we be on TikTok and whether we be on YouTube. We're streaming on both. So for my TikTok people, if you wanted to get more in-depth information or you wanted to go back and find archives, they're going to be on YouTube. All right, my YouTube people, you can also catch us, please, at TikTok. I want y'all to like, share, and follow. All right, now the information that I'm putting out, I want y'all to know it's not for free. Even on here, on TikTok and YouTube, is not free. So when somebody is saying, oh, well, I get this for free and I don't have to pay for it, let me help you to understand something. Your attention is very, very valuable. Your attention is very, very valuable. So when somebody is saying they didn't have to pay for something, what they're talking about is Federal Reserve notes. Oh, I ain't have to pay no Federal Reserve notes. It was free. Nothing is free. Nothing. And I mean nothing, not even me sitting here giving you this information. And I'm here to give you some information. And those of y'all who have been with UNA or have seen us before, you know that we drop some very, very powerful jewels and powerful information. But it's not free. And why do I say it's not free? Because you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. And what I mean by that, and what I'm trying to impress upon you is that when you are watching information, it's not about just watching it. You have to process it up here. You got to process it, because when I'm giving this information, and I can tell you, I can say all of this stuff over and over again, but until you pay attention, you won't get it. So what happens is, when I have people who come to me and they're in a desperate situation whereby they're having issues with the policy enforcers or the FBI or whomever else it is, the police, the courts, their wages are getting garnished. Okay, so you're going to pay to get, whether it be me or a lawyer or whomever else it is, you're going to pay to get them on your case and help you with this legal issue, or you can pay attention right now. You're always going to pay. So what do I mean when I say that? There are three ways that I always talk about you're going to pay. Either you're going to pay with Federal Reserve notes, these little dollar bills they're handing you, or you're going to pay with blood, sweat, and tears, where you have to put your energy into something, or you're going to pay attention on that spiritual side, where you're allowing this knowledge and information to come to you so that you can have it in the event that something does occur. This is your insurance. Your insurance right now is paying attention. So you can either pay attention now, or you can pay a lawyer a retainer of $2,500 later when there's an issue or something's coming up with your family or whatever it is. You're going to pay. So when people are coming at you or anybody else, especially my people who are out here putting out information, and you're trying to educate people and give them knowledge, and they're coming at you, making you feel some kind of way because you're charging for whatever your services are, and they're saying, well, you got it free. Nobody gets anything for free. All right? And so here's the deal. When you decide you want to pay attention and you want to put your energy into learning this information, then when it comes time for you to use it, you have it there. Because if you don't have it, if you haven't paid in advance, if you haven't given insurance to assure that you know law, then you're going to have to rely on somebody else to do it for you, and they're going to charge you, and rightfully so. So I want to get into this because, when I first started doing the classes with UNA, I offered them for free. And it was this whole thing about, well, listen, if you have done some good deeds, just let us know what your good deeds are and you can get into the class. And for whatever reason, that just didn't work. People weren't respecting the knowledge. Then I said, okay, well, here's the deal. You can do a donation, get into the class. And I had people who would do like a $1 donation just so they can get into the class. And it was okay, that's fine, but you're going to get $1 worth of remedy. Listen to me when I say you're going to pay. What I found is that when people put their financial money behind the education, then they take it seriously. They take it more serious. They respect it more. As I started getting up into this, when I get students who want to hook up, oh, I need a discount, let me get the discount. Those tend to be the worst students. They tend to be the most disruptive students. I'm fortunate that I have great students now. I really do. I have really wonderful students. They are here to learn. And the funny thing about it is that when they pay the Federal Reserve notes, they're more willing to pay attention. Now, some of you all might not think your attention is valuable. Let me give you a little bit of heads up about how valuable your attention is. You ever gone on YouTube and you heard people say, well, you know what, you don't even have to send me a donation. Just watch this video, watch the commercials or the videos that pop up to the end, and then I'm going to get paid. Why is that? Because somebody is paying for you to pay attention. That's how valuable your attention is. They don't need your donation. We just need you to pay attention to this commercial or this video that's going to pop up. And when you do, I'm going to get paid. That's how valuable your attention is. And so when I'm saying you're going to have to pay attention, when you get the knowledge, it's not just about getting it because I heard it one time. No, you got to pay attention and let it become a part of you. And then you really will be able to stand on law. But if it's not a part of you, you just, I heard it. Yeah, I heard something about that, but I don't really know how to enforce it. Well, you didn't pay attention. Okay. So now we're talking about paying. So I want to go through this. All right. If you're going to get a trust from a lawyer, your standard trust, without any education or knowledge about how to use the trust, you're going to pay $2,500 and up. If you need a consultation with a lawyer, those of you all who've had issues, just for a lawyer to hear your case, you're talking about $2,500 and up. When we're talking about even a lawyer taking your case, I've had students to tell me they've had lawyers to charge them $50,000 on some kind of traffic issue or whatever it is. $50,000. But just to take your case, again, you're starting at least $2,500. We're talking about true knowledge of the law, and you're talking to a lawyer, you're not going to get it. The information that we go over in UNA University, you're not getting that from a lawyer. Why? Because they're not taught these things purposely. I need y'all to understand what a lawyer is. A lawyer is a servant to the court. What does that mean? Their first duty is to the judge and to the court first, to make sure that nothing happens in that court whereby you can sue the judge. Their purpose is to take away your voice. Their first duty is not to you. So why is that? Because they weren't trained by you. They're trained by the court. And do you think the court is really going to tell them or train them what's really going on with the system so that you can free yourself? Y'all got to understand that lawyers are subservient as well. They're not, lawyers aren't really free to tell you what they want to tell you or do for you or help you in the way that they possibly could. They don't have that freedom. Why do you think they have that bar number? They have a bar number because they are a member of some kind of organization that's called the bar. Well, what is the bar? A lot of you all know it by now. The bar is the British Accredited Registry. British Accredited Registry. It is a private organization whereby these lawyers become a member of this private organization that is owned by Britain. All right? And they have, when they're talking about registry, they're talking about certain documentation that they have that only their people or members can partake in. When I say that, I'm talking about there's a constitution that's under the British Accredited Registry. There is a constitution that's under the British Accredited Registry. So this is why when you see people going into court, and they be talking about, what the Constitution say? And the judge is like, I need you to sit down and be quiet, Mr. Jones. But the Constitution say that. And they don't understand why the judge is now hitting them with the fine and throwing them in jail. Because you're copyright infringing on a registry that you don't have authority to. British Accredited Registry, that only lawyers or certified lawyers that are part of that British Accredited Registry can use and speak on. All right? So I'm telling you what these lawyers are. When you have someone who is a lawyer, they are trained by the system, which is owned by the British or Britain. It's a representation of the bar that separates the working side of the courtroom. Okay, thank you, Bright. Thank you, Brightbug. All right. And I'm going to get into that. But the reason why I'm going over this with you is I need you to understand, when you're putting your trust in someone who is a lawyer, you need to recognize, and they got a bar number, they are under and I say under purposely because they are under an organization that's owned by Britain, and they are under rules, they're under laws, and there is no way they're going to have the freedom to help you free yourself when they not free themselves. Y'all got to understand that, when you go into court, you're being taken advantage of, because when you file any kind of lawsuit, if you're the one who's filing or if someone's filing against you, there is a, what do we call, a bond. There's a bond being placed on that court case, and the court is making money. You're not. And when it comes to the lawyer is also getting, I would say, just taken advantage of, because they have to have a bar number. That bar number, anything with a number on it, y'all need to know it's an instrument. That means it's got an estate. That means there's funds under it. That means it's being traded on the stock market. Well, you got to understand, a bar number, well, they're being traded too. The lawyer is being traded too. They don't know this. Who's going to teach them this in law school? Because that's not when they go to law school, the system only wants them to know as much as they need to know to make everything look like it's fair. All right. Joe Hall says, yeah, bond payment, bond performance, bond. What he's talking about is when there's a court case, this is by law. There always has to be a financial instrument or insurance. Why? Because you got to understand that courts are private entities as well. All courts, they're private entities. So what happens is there's a federal agency and the court is a private entity, and they're doing business on behalf of the public, which is the federal side that's protecting the public. Well, what happens with this court is by law, and y'all can look this up, it's called the Miller Act. All courts are just third parties, private entities. And if they're going to hold a court session, they have to have insurance. Insurance. Well, you might be thinking, well, they ain't doing that on me because I didn't sign that. They're not doing it on me. Let me help you understand something. The court can't make money because it's really a dead fictitious entity. They can't create money. They can't make money. They can't give you money. Only one who can create money is a living entity. So when you go in and you file your case, whether you file it as your company or you file it as your all capital letter name, well then there's an insurance that has to be created. It's got to be on your name. It can't be on theirs because they can't create money. All right. So now there's a bid bond, payment bond, performance bond that are created. And in most cases, that thing is at least $1 million. At least. All right. So now there's this bid bond, payment bond, performance bond that's created, and it's got your name on it. But you don't know nothing about that. They're not going to tell you about that. Well, you need to understand they're also putting a bond on that lawyer too. That's why they got to have that bar number. Yeah, the lawyer is getting raked over the coals as well. So you got to understand what's going on is a lot of money is changing places. And you ain't getting none of it, even though it's all in your name. Okay, but you're not going to learn that from a lawyer. You're not going to learn that if you go to law school. You're only going to learn that if you're willing to pay attention. Pay attention. Because these are the things that we're not told, we're not taught, and then we want to get upset because we don't know about them. But there's somebody, I'm not the only one putting this information out. There are other people who are putting it out, and I want to give a shout out. I want to show love to those who are really trying to teach this information and give it to the people. It's not free. I've been sitting here talking, and I'm dropping jewels. Divas dropping jewels. But you can only get this if you're willing to pay attention. So, congratulations if you're paying attention. Now, getting back to this, when we're talking about the lawyers and who they are, they're not there for you. They don't have the true knowledge of the law. And why is that? Because they've been trained by a system that's owned by the British. The ones who are trying to keep everybody subservient. And there's no way that they're going to teach you how to free yourself. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thought where people go, well, they should make us equal and pay us the money that we deserve, that we are worth. Nobody's going to do that for you. If you want it, you better be willing to pay attention. You're going to pay. And so here's the thing. We get people who are wanting certain things. Again, if you're wanting knowledge of this information, you think that it's supposed to be free. Well, first of all, you got to be willing to pay attention. And second of all, there are those of us who've been putting this information out. But if you're not willing to invest in yourself, then okay, don't pay attention. Just wait till that thing jumps up and you need help with it. Well, then you just pay out of your pocket with Federal Reserve notes. Or you put in some blood, sweat, and tears to barter off the amount of money or the reserves that it takes to get what you're needing, but you're going to pay. You're either going to pay with Federal Reserve notes, you're going to pay with blood, sweat, and tears, or you're going to pay attention. And so that's why I say right now, none of this information is free. Even though I'm sitting here telling it to you, and you don't have to come out of your pocket with Federal Reserve notes, you better pay attention right now, or you're going to pay a whole bunch later. All right. Jahal says freedom ain't free. That's right. See, some of y'all paid a lot of money to enslave yourself. You went to school. You let them put this student loan on you. All right. You've listened to all these people around you. You've allowed yourself to go into debt. Yeah, you paid a lot to enslave yourself. And now that you want to get out of it, you want that for free. That's not how it works. All right. So I'm just here telling you about the things that you're going to have to pay for. You got to pay. And so I encourage you to be willing to pay attention so that in the event that you need this later, you're not coming up in a desperate state. Because if you're desperate, you're going to have to pay out of pocket. Now, I want to talk about some things we got going on because this is a fabulous, fabulous season already. It's kicking off fabulous. I told you about here we go. The trust. Now, if y'all want the membership package, this comes with the I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but this comes with your documents. Declaration, security agreements, UCC. Trust documents is what I want to say. All right. It also comes with your membership badge. Very important. I want to state this about this membership badge because this was big when all of the companies were trying to force people into taking the jab. All right. When you make it clear to these entities, whether it be the entities, your job, or anybody else, where you stand, what your beliefs are, what your God is, who your God is, when you make that clear, then they have to respect that. And this document right here helped a lot of our students when their job was coming at them, talking about firing them and all of that other stuff. If you don't take the jab, well, when my God says that I don't put those things in my system, then you got to back off. That's what this came in handy with. Now, the allodial ID, okay, this deals with your spiritual name. On the back, there's a QR code whereby you're going to always have access to your documents that are certified, all right? We're going to certify these, get these certified, put them on record with the county. All right, and then you're going to be able to access them from this QR code. We're also going to send those to you. And as I said, we do put them on record, on county record for you, and you get the education. That's the 8-session course. All right, 8 sessions, and you take that at your own pace. Okay, so that is huge. And once again, that's not even the amount that a lawyer would charge just to get you the information. All right. Now, I want to show you this. We've got a line coming out. We call it the agenda. All right. Agenda. Agenda is a contract whereby we have rewritten these contracts that have been placed on our society. All right. And so in this design, you'll see, and I'm going to hold it up close, you'll see there's a contract. All right. There's a contract. And the contract deals with love. That's our agenda. All right. UNA agenda. And so with this is we're fulfilling our purpose to make sure we start speaking love. And we're putting that contract right in the very design of what we do. That's what agenda is about. This is our purse. All right, we got clothing as well. We're bringing this online very soon. I always turn it upside down. We're bringing this online very soon. You all will be able to purchase this. And it comes with the barcode whereby you can, when you scan this barcode, it'll take you right to the contract so that you can read the contract as well. But it's in the clothing, it's in the purse, it's in the glasses, it's in the shoes, it's in everything. The contract of love, that's what Agenda is about. Coming soon. We're getting that online, so I want y'all to stay tuned now. Let me see if I have any questions. Sovereign citizens are the funniest thing on the internet. Thank you, Brightbug. Let me say something to you about the term sovereign citizens. Ignorant people use that term. I'm going to say this again, and I hope Brightbug is listening and listening clearly. Ignorant people use that term, Brightbug. Ignorant people use that term, sovereign citizen, because let us understand what a sovereign is. A sovereign is one who has master of self. Sovereign is a god. Sovereign is a master. A citizen is a slave that has no rights. All right, you're either a god or you're a slave. You're not both. You're not both. So let's understand this. Ignorant people use that term because what sovereign citizen has been deemed as by these people in the system, because they don't want you to know who you are. They're going to call you, they're calling you some kind of tyrant. They're calling you a terrorist. And let's understand, we don't use that term, sovereign citizen. It is an oxymoron used by ignorant people who have no knowledge of law, no knowledge of etymology, or nothing that's going on. Brightbug says that nothing I have said is true. Tell me the part that's not true. Or is it the Miller Act that's not true? Somebody look that up and help Brightbug, because Brightbug clearly doesn't know how to do research. All right. Somebody look up what the bar is and help Brightbug, because Brightbug is clearly not knowledgeable about how to do research. Somebody help Brightbug when we're talking about the fact that lawyers' first duty to the court is to the court, not you. Perhaps that's not true as well, Brightbug, which really tells me that you don't know how to do research. All right. Thank you, True. The price is $625. $625. And when you go to for the membership package, when you find the link in the bio, you'll be able to get that trust. And also, Brightbug, was it not true when I said that your religious rights have to be protected? Is that not true? Somebody help Brightbug to understand that when you establish what your religious principles are, that they have to be respected. Otherwise, a company will go through a lawsuit because it will be called discrimination. You're discriminating against me because of my religious rights. Is that not true, Brightbug? Because now you're telling me you're ignorant, which is why you use the term sovereign citizen. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Thank you, Henry. $625. $625 for the membership package. Timothy Felipe, thank you for joining on YouTube. I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Philip says yes, and I appreciate it big time. Thank you, Philippe, for the love. Once again, I want y'all to like and share. Big Brightbug says, what are you yapping about? You think the Bar Association is owned by the British? Okay, thank you, Brightbug. So let's make this clear. And we can look up the Act of 1871, because a lot of people do not know how to research, and Brightbug likely does not even know how to read with comprehension. But Brightbug, I want you to know I love you, and I appreciate your ignorance at this time because I use people like you as a teaching dummy. So thank you. Now, I want everybody to take the opportunity to look up the Act of 1871 and let's understand what happened with the Act of 1871. The United States of America was supposedly incorporated in 1777. This is the Republic. This is the federal, when we're talking about the United States of America. Now, there are two United States of America. Let us be clear. This is why I have y'all to come into the school, because some people, again, you can't just get it here, because I'm ready to go and eat in a few minutes because I'm ready to come off this fast. But I need to quickly inform you of where we are, what's going on with the United States of America, the fact that there are two of those, and then the United States Corporation, the fact that it's owned by Britain. 1777, the United States of America, and I'm going to make this clear, capital U, United States of America, was incorporated by what we call them elite Moors. All right, elite Moors, some melanated people. They want you to think they was Albions that came over here in this country and started running everything. That's not how it went down. We got proof of that, but y'all gonna have to do some research. Don't be like Brightbug, who ain't that bright. He not that bright. You're gonna have to do some research on your own. But it didn't happen where some Albions came in here and started running things. They was melanated people. This is why y'all don't know much about the Continental Congress. Because those people in the Continental Congress, there were presidents. The time between 1777 and 1789, when George Washington came in, there was a whole medley of presidents at that time, and most of which were melanated people. There was at least 6 presidents before Washington. All right. So 1777, you got the United States of America, more of a federal organization for the people. And then you also, before that, you had the United, lowercase u, United States, capital S, of America. That was representative of the land in what we know of as North America. All right. So what that's got to do, I'm talking like Brightbug, but what that got to do, Diva, with the fact that this is not British? You talking about British. Okay, Brightbug, pay attention. Pay attention. So you got these elite Moors who are running or have created the United States of America. Now, the problem was that Britain wanted to control North America. And when these Moors created the United States of America, they were purposely kicking Britain out. This was a hostile takeover. Y'all got to remember, Britain had all these colonies over here from Virginia, which Virginia was the first corporation created by Britain. The Virginia Company, look it up, please. Y'all don't be like that other dude, Brightbug, who ain't that bright. Look up the Virginia Company. And it was created in the 1500s, early 1500s, late 1400s. That was the first corporation. That's the same corporation y'all know as the state of Virginia today. That's owned by Britain. Pay attention. All right. All of those colonies that Britain had come in here and created, these elite Moors were kicking them out and telling them, you no longer have jurisdiction or authority in this land. That's what the Constitution was for. That's what the Declaration of Independence was for. It was kicking them out. This was a hostile takeover by these elite Moors, kicking Britain out and saying, nope, you're not going to collect taxes over here anymore. Nope, you don't have authority or jurisdiction in this land. That's what it was all about. Well, In order to try to regain control, they had their first crony, George Washington. That's why y'all don't know about the presidents in the Continental Congress. They didn't teach all that in high school. Why? Because the whole educational system was hijacked by Britain. It's hijacked. So you don't know about those presidents, but you know about George Washington. They tell you George Washington was the first president of the United States, when it wasn't. Why they not telling you about the other ones, the melanated ones? Okay. All right. And then George Washington wasn't even Albion. He wasn't. He was a Moor. Not that the term, I'm not going into the term Moor because I go into that all the time. But he was a melanated, amalgamated Moor. All right. So in order to regain control of all of the states, because they had George Washington come in 1879, but they still didn't have control, because I need y'all to understand, pay attention and be clear on this. Every state in America is its own country. See, I'm dropping jewels. I hope y'all paying attention. I'm going to tell you why. Every state in what we know of as North America is its own country. It is a sovereign entity. In the Republic, what does it take to be a country? It's got its own flag. It's got its own seal. It's got its own constitution. It's got its own landmass, and it's got a bank. Every state in what we know of as North America is an individual country. So when you got George Washington in here, all right, and we've got all of these different countries, well, the problem was that Britain still didn't have control. So they created another organization to rejoin these countries such that they would be up under a particular umbrella which the British had control over. This is when the Act of 1871 comes in. Y'all got to do your research. 1871. In that Act of 1871, they created a fraudulent United States corporation that everybody to this day thinks is the true United States of America, when it's not. It's just the United States Corporation. Y'all got to understand, the United States Corporation is nothing more than a big credit union holding the estates of all the people. And you have pledged as a citizen or slave to this dead fictitious corporation created with the Act of 1871 called the United States Corporation. And it only exists in Washington, D.C. It only exists in Washington, D.C. Thank you, True North, because let's understand, True North says bankruptcy. The United States Corporation is bankrupt, but the United States of America is not. But y'all don't know the difference. You think they're going to teach you that in law school? They're not. You think they're going to teach you that in history school? They're not. Because that's a part of your freedom. That's a part of you understanding who you are as a true sovereign entity. So they teach ignorant people to come on here talking about a sovereign citizen. So now they can label you as a terrorist, when the true terrorists are the ignorant people speaking that term. So, Brightbug, I want you to tell everybody, since you have knowledge, what does the Act of 1871 speak on? Tell everybody what the Act of 1871 speaks on, Brightbug. We'll wait. I ain't gonna wait for long because I'm ready to get out of here and go eat. Anybody who's in the comment section that has knowledge, I want you to tell what the Act of 1871 is, what its importance is. Lux Private Media says Sharp versus AM Bar ASSN. Tell us what that is about, because I don't use my tools on here I had to do a special recording of that. But tell us what that's about. And Lux says the bar theory is rejected by the courts. What does that mean? It's not a theory. And so again, Lux and bright, not so bright bug, I want you to tell me what the purpose of the Act of 1871 is. Tell me what the Act of 1871 is, Lux. Come on. We don't have all day. And my other intelligent people out there who study and you do your own research, tell me what the Act of 1871 is. Tell me what it does. What was its purpose? Lux, you didn't read it? If you don't know about it, then you shouldn't be speaking in this room. If you don't know about the Act of 1871, don't come challenging me. Because that is a big part of what has happened and why you've got separate United States and people don't know the difference between which. I don't care about you telling me about the court rejecting something. Just because the court rejected something, that doesn't mean it's not true. If we go and do our research, and who is the court? Who is a judge? And I want y'all to understand something. Be clear on this, people. Case law is garbage law. I said it. I meant it. Case law is garbage law. Because what is case law? It is a judge's opinion on something. What is a judge? A servant to the people. A lowly servant. That's not even law. Case law is not even law. What is law? Law is by the people. Law is what the people said, not what a court said. If you don't know about the Act of 1871, not so bright bug and Lux, you don't have the authority to even be in this room speaking. You have no knowledge. Go do some research and then let's have an intelligent discussion. All right? And let me see, who is this? Johnston. I want you to qualify what you're saying. Expound on what you're saying. Expound. I'll wait. Lux, who are the courts? This is what I mean. What courts? Who are the courts? Why would the bar, who owns the courts? Again, when we're talking about a court, all courts are private entities. Which court is that? And I asked you about the Act of 1871. If you can't tell me about it, then you have no knowledge, sir. Thank you, Johnston. If you can't tell me about that act, then you don't have knowledge. Yeah, they are. What's the name of the court? Tell me the name of the court, Lux. And I'm not going to argue with you for that long because I got to get out of here. There ain't even no argument. The deal is you got to do your research. Or you can believe Lux. You can believe, what's that little boy, not so bright dude. Listen. Again, you got to pay attention. If you pay attention to the wrong thing, then they're going to have you thinking that a lawyer, their first duty is to you. Hey, Lux, let me ask you a question. Whose duty, who has the first duty of the lawyer? Tell me that. Tell me if that's true or not. Because if you're telling me about a court that says, oh, we're not with the bar, of course they're going to tell you that because they don't want you to know. But when you do your research, you see clearly who they are. And if you're telling me, and I know by law that every court has to have an insurance. That's by law. And if they have to have an insurance, then they're a private entity. Why do they have to have insurance? Because they need to make sure that if you sue the court, that it doesn't fall back on the federal. Because then that's a conflict of interest. That's why they have to have insurance. That's why these people who work for the city or the county or the state, they have to be bonded. Because if they do something to harm the public, it's not the public that needs to be paying for it. They got to pay for it. Otherwise, it's a conflict of interest. I'm saying what out of context? You can't argue because you are wrong. Oh, wait a minute. This is what we're going to do. Lux, this is what I want you to do, honey. We're going to I'm going to bring you on, and we're going to do a live. I'm going to bring you on. We're going to do a live. So this is what I'm going to do. Lux, and I'm going to bury you. I would love to do this. We're gonna do a live. I want you to bring your information, and I'm gonna bring mine, and then we're gonna see who knows what. All right, attorneys or a lawyer's first duty is to the court. That is the fact. All right, praise. Thank you for the comment or the question. The Act of 1871 is where the British created a fraudulent United States corporation that resides in Washington, D.C. only. When you read the act, you can clearly see that it is a British corporation. So what they did was they created, and see, if you do your research, you know, it's not only with the United States that they've done it. They did it with the Australia. They've done it in New Zealand. They've done it in other countries. What they'll do is they'll go in a territory that's outside of the limits of the country. And I need y'all to understand this, because Lux ain't going to understand this. Washington, D.C. is not even a state. It's not even a part of the United States of America. It is a territory that is outside of the United States. Well, no, Diva, it's in the United States. Legally, it is not a state. It is a territory that resides outside of the all-capital United States of America. It is outside of that territory as established in the Constitution of the United States of America. So it's outside of the jurisdiction. So now Britain comes in and sets up a corporation called the United States. That's it. It's not even of America, because it has nothing to do with America. It is a foreign entity. And then what they did was they set up this territory that looks like the United States of America. And then they tell you to, when you sending off mail, don't put Georgia. You put GA, TX, CA for California. They're telling you to use the acronyms because the acronyms are copyrighted and trademarked. And so when you use those acronyms, you have now put yourself under the jurisdiction of the U.S. corporation that resides in Washington, D.C. And the thing is, you don't even recognize that you're putting yourself under their jurisdiction because you're using their copyrighted and trademarked material. But when you stop using it, you're no longer under their jurisdiction. And the problem is, the other way we put ourselves under their jurisdiction, because y'all think the state of Georgia, the state of Texas, the state of California is the same thing as Georgia Republic. It's not. Texas Republic is not. Why is it that Texas is the only one of all of these 51 states that has said, look, we're not a part of the United States Corporation. We're not dealing with your taxes. Because Texas recognizes that it is its own country. And they're not Texas, state of Texas. No, they Texas Republic. There is a republic for every state in the land that we know of as North America. There is a republic for every state. And the problem is, y'all keep putting yourself under the jurisdiction of the U.S. corporation, and they're not going to tell you the truth. All of these courts are under the jurisdiction of the U.S. corporation. But when you learn how to get under the republic, You got to understand the system is not going to teach you how to do that. Because you're trying to ask the system to teach you how to get out of being a slave. What oppressor is going to teach their slaves how to free themselves? That ain't how this works. If you want to free yourself, you better pay attention. Pay attention. Don't listen to these ignorant, not so bright bug and Lux, whatever the hell his name is. You better be willing to do your own research, because at the end of the day, Lux is probably a lawyer. Lux is probably an attorney. And Lux is going to be happy to take your $2,000 or $5,000 and charge you $50,000 for your case, which you could have dealt with on your own if you had paid attention. Without the knowledge, you are forever a slave. But when you get the knowledge, people like Lux, people like Not So Bright Dude, yeah, they can't even show up in your dimension. Because they don't have a word to speak, because they have no knowledge. You don't come here telling me about what I don't know when you don't even know what the Act of 1871 is. You do some research, then you come back and let's have a discussion. Lux, let's do this live. Anybody have any questions? Because I'm going to get out of here. I'm hungry. I've enjoyed this sparring session with you. A handball court, baseball court. Okay, yeah, thank you, Felipe. Felipe paid a little bit of attention. Felipe said just like the Vatican. Yes, that too. No, here we said just like the Vatican. Greetings, Rainbow. All right, does anybody have any questions before I get out of here? True North, thank you for the love. Thank y'all for liking and sharing. Aboriginal American Express Trust. I'm not sure if you're asking me a question. Hodge, I want you to find the link in the bio. Hodge is asking about the membership package. All right, so it comes with your trust documents. All right, Declaration Security Agreement, UCC. It comes with your membership badge, very powerful badge. Comes with your Allodial ID with your spiritual name on it. Also, it has your QR code so that you can always access it. We're going to put these on record for you. Also, they'll be on record with UNA so that you can always access them. And very importantly, it comes with the education. All right, so you get people having these documents, and as I've told you, you can have the most powerful tools on the planet. If you do not know how to use them, they cannot work for you. This is why we have that 8-week session. Now, $625. That's what the cost of is. You can find the link in the bio, or you can go to UNARepublic.com. You already know. Go to a lawyer to get this, like Lux is telling you. $2,500, you're starting. Just to start, $2,500 for a trust, and you get no knowledge, you get no education. You don't know how to use it. Hodge, Hog Life, this is what I want you to do. Send me a message in the, because you're on TikTok, send us a message and leave your name and number, and we're going to call you for a consultation. Cosmic, are you asking if I have a book? Yes, we do have the book. Or we got the beginner law book. You can go and get the beginner law book if that's what you're asking about. Philip says, I'm in. All right, Philip. True North, thank you for the love. Lux said, you're funny. I'm not trying to be funny, Lux. I'm serious. I'm very, very serious about this, and I know what I'm speaking on. So I would be happy to have this conversation with you, Lux, and I'm not playing with you. You come on with me, we're gonna get to some serious business. So you leave a message in the bio, and I'm gonna hit you up. I got your name. Since you want to come on and speak that, I got your name. Let's have this conversation live. All right? And then we see who really has the knowledge. Let's have this a live conversation. Let me see if I want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. Aboriginal says, what's the purpose of the express trust? All right. So let me tell you, some of you all have heard about the revocable trust, the irrevocable trust. So let's understand those different trusts. All right. Irrevocable is a trust whereby when you put it into place, nobody can revoke it. Nobody can change the terms of it. Revocable trust is whereby you can revoke it or change it at any time. For us, when we have trust, these type of trusts, we're making them revocable, meaning we can change them at any time. As the owner, as the creator of these documents, you have the right to change them at any time you choose to. All right. When we're talking about an irrevocable trust, this might be something that you put into place whereby you have an organization and you want to make sure that the laws of this organization stay as such throughout eternity. United States of America, and we're talking about that Constitution, would likely be considered an irrevocable trust, as those laws in there cannot be changed by anybody. All right. Whereas with our laws, if I want to change this concerning my vessel, I have the right. But when you have a whole lot of people and you know that there are going to be people coming in trying to do certain things to take away people's rights, well, then you would want to make it irrevocable. Now, the purpose of an express trust is that, yes, some of us have come into knowledge and we're like, I know who I am. I don't need nobody to tell me who I am. That's fine. But why do we want to put this on record? All right? Because by law, when I claim my vessel, I have stated what the laws of this vessel are, and that nobody has the authority to come in and try to change that. That's why we also had this document. You got to reserve your rights. You got to put it on record, because without it being on record, these people in this system don't recognize it or understand it. That's the purpose. You can say, okay, well, I'm under God. And okay, that's fine. But if you have not claimed that for the record, if you haven't claimed it for the record, then they don't know that. They're going to make assumptions. Their assumption is you are a slave because you have called yourself a citizen of this United States corporation. They're going to assume that you are a slave. But the minute you make it record of who you are, there's no more assumptions. No, I told you. And once you put this on record with one county, it has to be respected by every other corporation across this planet. Am I lying, Lux? Lux, am I lying? I hope that helps you understand. Thank you for joining May. How do you make it record? You need to come to class, Robin. True North says, enjoy dinner. I will. That's my breakfast. No, ma'am, what, hog life? All right, so if you all, by the way, we are in winter season where we're 1 week in. So if you want to start in the UNA University, leave a message in the comment section, or in the you could go and leave a message in the inbox, all right, so that we can do a consultation with you and bring you into the UNA University, all right. So it's important because, again, it's great to have these documents, but when you come into the university, if you think this information I'm dropping here is huge, and by the way, for the whoever it is that was Lux and the other little fella, I need y'all to understand something. I back my stuff. Everything I speak is backed. And you can send your little documents about, oh, this case law, that case law. I'm going to back everything I have. And then everybody in the room is going to be able to pay attention by doing their own research. Because I'm dropping jewels. So when you come into the class, if you think this is a lot, come into the university. Because then you're going to get the real education. I can only drop so much here. I can only speak so much here. But if you want the real education, you want the real history, the real law, if you want the real knowledge of how these universal laws work and how to deal with things on a spiritual level, you want the real, but you got to come into the university, because I can only do so much here. But I want y'all to know I don't neglect you. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you for even wanting to listen. If you just stayed with me for only 2 minutes, congratulations. Thank you for paying attention. The more attention you pay now, the easier it will be. The easier it will be for you when these agents come at you. You're going to know who you are. They don't want you to know who you are. They send trolls, or they, and people just don't know that they're ignorant. They think they have knowledge of something because of something they heard on TV, or their cousin told them, or they heard this lawyer say that. If you're not educated and you haven't truly paid attention, then you really don't have the knowledge. So I encourage you to come into the university so that you can start really gaining a true understanding of what's going on and learning how to stand as the God and the sovereign that you are, so that you don't keep bending over and walking like a slave. And once again, if you hear somebody using that term sovereign citizen, please know it is an ignorant person using that term, because that is an oxymoron. You're either a sovereign or you're a citizen, which means you're a slave. You can't be both. All right, Marie, I want y'all to know I love you. I love you. Give me a hug. I didn't mean to whip you so hard, but I love you. All right, I'm going to see y'all next time. I'm out. Bye.